right, we are back with a little Pauper video. We're going to be doing some Explore Pauper. It's been a while, but we've got Explore Pauper Ladder coming up really soon. Not certain if I'll be able to participate, but if I did, this is probably one of the decks I would take because I'm kind of a big fan of getting big green creatures on the table and just turning them sideways. So we got a few new cards that kind of help that. We got a little bit of time left in the Midweek Magic Explorer event, and this is usually a good place where you get some decent decks that are of a little bit higher caliber but not too extreme. Like they're Pauper level, and just with way things go for me, it's just the easiest way to get some matches. Kind of see how it's been going. I ran through it pretty quickly, got 3 wins pretty easily, been doing really great. There's some matchups that are just unwinnable because you won't see anything like that in Pauper, but we should be able to show off what the deck does real quick. We'll do a quick deck tech and take a look at it. Posted it in the Discord for people to take a look at. But here is kind of the basic shell of it. The most recent addition that we have is our Hamlet Glutton. So 6/6 for 7, but you can reduce it with bargain and make it only 5. Same thing over here. This is a 4/4 for 5, but if you trigger Revolt, comes in with 2 1/1 counters on it, so it becomes a 6/6. So you're really looking at ways to get these big 6/6 creatures out on turn 3 as quickly as possible. Your best ways at doing that is you've got Jewel Thief, creates a treasure token. You make sure you pay with the treasure token to cast Lifecraft Cavalry. I always have a hard time saying that, but you make sure you use the treasure. Do not auto pay things because it will prioritize everything else above your treasures, so be careful with that when you do pay for it. But you sacrifice a treasure while paying for the cavalry, and it comes out as a 6/6. Also, you have Careful Cultivation. You can just play it out as the little monk, but because it is a token creature, it allows you to sacrifice it, so you can tap for mana, sacrifice it, basically making that Hamlet Glutton cost only 5, and so that comes down as a 6/6 on turn 3. So a couple ways that you can get either of those out. Sometimes you get the wrong sequencing. Sometimes you're sticking with the monk, and you don't have the Glutton, you've got the cavalry. So it happens, but it's usually pretty consistent about getting a big body. Then we also have kind of Witchstalker to fill in kind of the in-between, creates a token, which again also fuels the Glutton, gives you a little bit of life, which the Glutton does, so it helps you sustain maybe into some mid and later ports of the game if you happen to get there. But really, we just don't have a good replacement for something like Banner Make a Shock, and we do need some sort of a stopgap at a good solid 4 mana. The other generator, we had you find a Cursed Idol. That was fine, can take off problematic enchantments, and that'll probably stay in the sideboard. But Cardboard Nomad suggested Moving Pinions, which I originally had in my sideboard, and I think it's the right call to put in the main, because what this does is it comes out and it essentially is ramp, right? It brings out a treasure token, but it enables both the bargain with the pinions themselves. You can sack them early and not really care about the flying, because if you got a 6/6 on the ground, don't really care if it flies early on. You just want to start beating face. Or you got the treasure on the backside that it creates to bring in the cavalry, and then you can make that cavalry fly. So really good card, works really well. I don't know that it's quite a 4 of. I'd almost do it, but it's just not quite, I think, 4 of material. Obviously, we got the Mana Elves, 8 copies of those. We've got Snakeskin Veil. We've got some Ram Throughs. And then, Jewel Thief, obviously amazing. And then we don't have Ents because this is Explorer, but we have Ancient, which, again, reach, trample, so it's a good aggressive creature that can come down. We're sticking with untapped lands basics. We went with Snows because we are going to be using like Icehide Troll probably in the sideboard, because decks that don't have ways to remove it really struggle with Icehide Troll, and they just can't really do much about it. And then we went with a couple of dig sites to kind of peel through our deck if we kind of get bogged down in the mid to late game, to kind of filter away the extra lands. So that's kind of where we're at. One other note is that these two, like typically I'm going to play this for the Monk, but if you have to play it for the Aura, it works really well on Jewel Thief with the Vigilance, turning 4/6 Vigilance, Trample, Reach. It's going to kill most things. It's going to survive most combats. This is something that I think that I've done some work with on the historic version of the deck, which I'm really liking, that we've got now, a few different ways to play green, so that definitely is going to see some play when I get into historic again and run through some more of my green brews. But this is kind of where we are for Explorer. Whether or not I get to play and this makes an appearance, we'll see. But let's try and do just a couple games, see it in action, see how it comes out. Sometimes we'll get some weird RNG with all of our big fatties and producers and no fatties. So this one is this one's still a keep. It's not ideal, obviously. We'd love to see one of the mid-range token producers, either the Pinions or obviously the Jewel Thief. That would be looking at turn 3 Lifecraft, and we're off to the races. But going down, we're okay to play this with a it's just a 4/4 for 5, right? So it's basically just the first one that comes out is probably just a bad albiner. We're okay. So we're expecting here. I also see a lot of wolves in this event, so I'm expecting maybe we see some wolves. Just over here. This is fine. We will put out one. Leaving ourselves open for a blowout if they have a sweeper, but we're going to try and get which is not untypical for this type of event with movement. So that is unfortunate that we're getting so many of them. That's something to ran through and put things to bring out. It's big enough that we can do it. So we're going to get some damage. Okay. Sure. So what I think we'll do is we will put the cultivation in. That's another one that I think for computer ops to do the most efficient usage of your mana, where you're only tapping one card. Sure. That's fine. Wolves is tough. It puts out some pretty sizable creatures pretty quickly. I really would like to see a cavalry come down as a 6/6. So that's been rough that we haven't seen any pinions, any jewel thieves. That's, I mean, seeing 3 cavalries, that's okay, weird. It would have helped if we had a glutton. It's one of those that would have been good. I don't know what they're waiting for. Maybe they're disconnected, who knows. I don't think they're donkers. Getting there for a little bit. So let's. Yeah, they're just gonna stay aggressive. I wonder what we do here. I mean, do we pump the brakes? The problem is they can just pass anytime we bring all these things that get their guys out of the way. I think we just stay aggressive. Do some damage. Put out another cavalry. So that is the other thing, is you can, let something down and then cavalry will come out. So that is the other thing. So that's what's cool, is if you're staying aggressive and they have to block, then cavalry will come down as a 6/6, which makes it pretty scary. I was wondering, let's maybe get another one here. Let's get a little time left. Excuse me, a little time left on the event, so we should be able to get a few things. What do we got? So let's keep it. So if we can keep this elf alive through turn 1. Okay, I thought that was the one that entered play. And, sack. before. And so now they are looking at probably scooping, I'm assuming, right here. Sure. They don't swing, so that's good. But yeah, I mean, swarm decks can be problematic if you don't get out ahead. I think if I start going second, that can be tough against a deck like that. But I got to go first. We got right out on it, and we're good to go. If they had that frostbite, turn one, they probably should have played it. So that is the danger of playing against a more ramping deck. Now, if I was playing against one of the more typical decks that I play with green, where it's a little bit more balanced, it kind of goes on the curve a little bit better. That may have been a problem for them to take out the elf and then you just play a 2-drop and a 3-drop and whatever. Might have been a wasted spell. But in that case, we got there really quick with that. So this again is all keepable, not ideal, but keepable. We'd love to see cavalry here, because we can play both the pinions and the mustache. So if we don't, it's okay too. Cut this out. I think what we're gonna do here is I don't think I have to worry about looking at this. I'm just gonna play max value mana. So I know I've got my 5 mana this next turn. So if we get a win, we can just put out Ancient. If we get a Glutton, we're looking good at that too. We can get anything that we get, we're looking good. Okay, just another elf, which is a bummer. So let's just go overboard. So we're way ahead on the mana fight. They could wreck me by sweeping on my land or something, but that'll swamp one? No, still over. Okay. I think they're looking to counter something big, maybe, which is fine. Big side. Their mana open. Let's something else. There's stuff on the board. They're probably going to do a board wipe here. That's what I'm expecting. They got their second white source, so it's looking like a board wipe. So Wrath of God effect or weird. Interesting. Oh, that's the one that adds mana. Okay, so there some sort of big mana deck, I guess. It did tap out. Let's put this out. So now we've got pinions to make it fly. We can protect both of our guys. Looking pretty good. They could hit me with a sweeper here, and that would suck. we've got 10, 11, 12, 13. I think we just attack with all of it. Let them block one. If it's targeted, we're okay. If it's a sweeper, we're screwed. Okay. Again, careful this one. There you go. So 3 in a row. I think that was pretty solid at getting out there. We had a few slowdowns, but again, don't worry so much if you get the Lifecraft Cavalries out there without treasure to pay for them, because again, you can play them post-combat and still get the big ones. That's why I think the Witch Stalkers help in getting the Glutton out and providing more fodder for that. So yeah, one quick look at the deck again, so you get everything. List will be up in the Discord. But yeah, so we saw a couple of games of it coming out. It goes pretty smooth. I like the non-tap lands. I did try them. You know, someone suggested non-tap lands, Ganon Gamer, which generally, again, I do like them. I like the, ones that can draw or give me tokens or anything like that. Problem is this deck really wants to hit, turn 1, 2, 3, and get out after it. And if you're stuck with one of your 2 lands, being a tap land early on, that can cause a lot of problems for you. Obvious hurdles are, losing those turn 1 elves. So you're always susceptible to early removal, because you really have nothing at the 2 mark that's going to help you at all. You really need to get to 3. I mean, that's not true. You do have cultivation, you do have pinions, which again are really turning out to be much better than I originally thought. I mean, they were pretty terrible in draft, but so far they've actually been really good. Like cultivation, being able to play at the end of the turn. So if you put out, if you put out an elf, you put out an elf, just play a land, attacking to somebody past a turn, and you've got your third, you got your 3rd land, and glutton, right? All you need is elf and elf and cultivation. Sorry, I'm kind of mumbling there. But if you have elf and cultivation, like in your hand, you've got your 3 lands, you've got your glutton. You can lead out an elf, and somebody who has something like End the Festivities, and they see a mana elf, like, well, they want to see, they want to get more bang for their buck, right? Maybe they're playing 8 Wrath or whatever. They want to get all those elves off the board. And, you go into that turn where, okay, you've got 1 elf out. Are they going to just spend it to kill 1 elf? Probably not. You can wait till the end of their turn, drop cultivation, next turn, play out your, 3rd land. You got 5 mana on board. You can get your glutton, and here you go. Now they might still have the "you are already dead" or whatever before you get your snake skin and things like that, but it does, like I said, it does give you, gives you the threat. It makes them have to respond, and that's really what the deck is trying to do. And it's like, I'm foregoing the value cards of like Visionary and Visionary and Owlbear, and I want the big bodies as fast as possible, right? 6/6 is, pretty much able to beat anything in the format. Just get out big, get out quick, and get after it. So anyway, that's the deck. I hope you liked it, and the games all come back hopefully with something else, depending on how things go. But next, week to 10-ish days will probably be pretty busy for me. But I hope you enjoyed, and I'll hope to see you again soon.